I recently got this chair from REI, and it was definitely one of those purchases where you walk in not expecting to buy anything, and then next thing you know, you're walking out of REI with a $100 camp chair. All right, cheers. It's been a while since I made a video, so I thought I would get back to it today. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Michael. I live right here in my car. This is my home. Right now I'm in Washington. I've been here for a couple weeks, and before this I was in Canada, up in Banff. So it's been a pretty good summer so far. This is pretty much the main reason why I wanted to start Road Life. I really wanted to be able to spend more time in these places and visit locations multiple times, and then also have some days like this where I can just find a cool campsite, make coffee in the morning, hang out, listen to the birds chirp around me. So yeah, it's pretty cool to finally see my initial vision of road life coming to fruition, especially over the last couple months where I've been able to slow down a little bit and spend more time in a lot of these places. What I thought would be cool to do today is to give you a tour actually of my tiny little SUV home. It's not anything crazy, but that's actually one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, is because I wanted to show you that you don't have to have an insane setup to hit the road and start traveling and seeing some of these places. You really only need some very simple things. That being said, I also have made some improvements since the last update video, because I think the last one I didn't even have a bed. I had a much worse setup for making coffee, which is very, very important, obviously. So yeah, let's get started. Starting with the basics, this is a Mazda CX-5 that I'm living in. It's big enough to fit everything that I need, barely. It drives really well, it gets good gas mileage, and also it's gotten me through a surprisingly number of really rough roads. You definitely can't off-road on it or anything, but I've been surprised with some of the roads I've taken this thing on, and it's been pretty good. Let's open up the back here and show you probably the most important part of the whole thing, the bed. So this bed setup was honestly very simple because I'm not skilled in construction or DIY anything. I put the seats down in the back here. I measured how much space there was, and then I just went to Home Depot, bought a pretty thick piece of plywood, and then asked them to cut it for me those dimensions, and they'll cut it for you for free at Home Depot. In this car, the back seats don't fold down all the way flat, so I knew I had to raise the platform on one side to make it level, and so I just went and got a bunch of 2x4s and then stacked them on this side up until it was pretty level. And I honestly just super glued the wood together, like the 2x4s together, and then those to the platform. After that, I went and just bought a bunch of memory foam and then cut that to the shape as well, and then stacked the memory foam so that I have really good cushioning, you know, on top of, you don't want to just be sleeping on plywood. Once I had the base for the bed, I just went to Target, bought a bed set. I think I just got a twin bed set because it's the smallest one that you can get. That's pretty much it. It's a very simple setup, but I've been sleeping on it for almost a year now, and I have no complaints. I was actually thinking about doing an entire video just on how to build a bed in the car the simplest way, like basically a building a bed for idiots type video. Not that you're an idiot, but I was an idiot and I figured it out. So I was like, I wonder if someone else out there who might be a total beginner with this stuff could benefit from another beginner, me, explaining how I figured out how to do it. Let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing that video as well. I have all the bags lined up on this side. I have a cooler here to keep food in. I keep my big duffel bag with all my clothes in it up here so that in the morning I can just move this over and then have easy access to all my clothes. On this little nook here, I have my extra shoes. One of the cool things is that since the bed is raised to keep it level, I actually keep all my cooking supplies underneath here. It's nice to conserve space a little bit and keep some of that under the bed. I'm back in the car now. I have the camera balanced on the steering wheel, which is wild. Who knew you could use a steering wheel as a tripod? This is perfect. I think it's moving a little bit, but it's fine. Bear with me. I wanted to share with you another little tip I found while being on the road, which is when you're sleeping at night, you don't want all of the windows to be fully up. You need something to be at least a little bit open to provide some airflow through the night so that you don't just run out of oxygen. So I used to just crack a window, but now that I have all the window covers, which I'm going to get to later on in the video, it seems like it sort of defeats the purpose. Like you crack a window, but then the window cover is covering it anyway. And so what I found to be useful is don't crack a window, but instead crack the sunroof. There. This cracks the sunroof just in this little section here, which is not big enough for someone to be able to come into your car, but it is big enough to provide the airflow necessary to sleep through the night very comfortably. Coming over to this side, as I said before, I have all my bags here stored. I usually keep water here, easy access on this side, and then under the folded down seats, you can see this is not really organized, but I just use it as storage. So I have a bunch of extra bags, just things that I don't really need right now. This is essentially like the basement of my home. Just a bunch of stuff that I stuff down there that I just don't want to even look at. Onto the front seat. This is probably the least organized part of the car. I usually keep my camera bag here because I'll be driving around and oftentimes want to get out to shoot some photos, or if I arrive to a hike, it's just easy to get out, take my bag and go. Down here I have food, so I keep my food in this bag. I have another bag down here that is all my trash. And then this is my personal kit with my toothbrush and other toiletries. I also keep one of my favorite road life purchases up here on the front seat, which is this Jackery battery pack. And essentially what this is just a big battery that you can charge gear, laptops, anything you want in. And the coolest thing about this to me for this lifestyle is you can plug the Jackery into the car while it's charging things. It has this cigarette plug here, and you plug this into the car and it will power the Jackery while the Jackery is charging your gear. Oftentimes the power that it's getting from the car is more than what is required to charge the gear. So you'll be driving along, the Jackery will be at 100% and your gear will be charging, which is really cool. And then obviously when you get to where you're going, you have a 100% battery pack that you can still charge things. The only thing to note about this is when you stop, when you're not driving, you have to unplug this, because if you leave it plugged into your car, it will drain your battery and you will get stuck somewhere. So the last thing I want to show you about this setup is actually these window covers, which again are very simple. I just did this take, by the way, but I accidentally had the camera in manual focus, so I have to redo it, but it's okay because in that take I dropped all of the window covers on the ground anyway. These window covers that just fell on the ground, I will pick them up in a second after I tell you about them. Actually no, I'll pick them up now because I want to show you. But yes, window covers, very simple. I got this material from Home Depot called Reflectix, I think it is. And I don't think it was that expensive. And you just get this big sheet and then you have to put it up to your window, trace out the shape of the window in Sharpie, and then just cut them to size to fit the windows. Because they come in rolls, they're shaped like this. So you just cut them so that it's shaped inwards towards the window. And then you can kind of put it in the cracks of the window like this, and they just stay in. Once you pull up somewhere, you get your window covers on, you lock the car. It's really good peace of mind to be in an enclosed thing that is locked that nobody can see in. And it definitely helps with being able to sleep with that peace of mind that you're gonna be good. That is pretty much it for my SUV home tour living in my Mazda CX-5. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really just wanted to show you my current setup and also how you don't need to have a really fancy setup to get started with road life. You really just need your vehicle and then you can go. When I first started, I didn't have the bed, I didn't have the cooler, I don't think I even had the jackery, and I just went and figured it out as I went along. I had a sleeping pad in the back with a sleeping bag on top, which was, you know, not the most comfortable, but it worked for the first couple months. And then I slowly made upgrades. I was like, okay, I really need to figure out how to make a bed. So went to Home Depot, made the bed, got the power source, got the cooler with the food, bought the camping stove, all that stuff. Like, the most important thing is, if you're thinking about starting this lifestyle, is literally just to start. Trust me, you'll figure out everything else along the way. I know it's really intimidating, like the feeling of driving away from my apartment for the last time in the car with none of this stuff and just hitting the road was really, really scary. But you just figure it out. If you put yourself in these situations, you figure out how to adapt, how to make the most of it. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. Let me know if you have any questions and if there's any other types of videos you would like to see in the future. I know I mentioned that how to build a bed video, that could be cool to make, but let me know if there's any other things that you would want to see. And other than that, thank you again for watching so much. Hit that subscribe button and I will see you in the next one.